What's up, y'all? I'm Dre Moore from More Than a Dad. For y'all guys out there that's trying to get y'all beards looking right, I came across some new products from Grizzled Teddy Company. I got two beard oils right here, two different scents. One a blue scent, one a original scent. They both smell amazing. They come in these little cool baby-proof bottles so you could get them. You know what I'm saying? We more than a dad, so this is effective. Keep your kids out your beard oil. He also got combs, two different sizes. The wide tooth, got the thin tooth, so we don't discriminate against the little beards. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's beard can't be like mine. So all my dads out there, I'm gonna need y'all to go support Grizzle Teddy Company. Groom your heart, groom your body, groom your beard. Stay well. Check out Grizzle Teddy Company beard oil.
More than more than that.
Welcome to More Than a Dad podcast. I'm your host, Lou Mobley. I'm joined by the coolest guy on earth,
What's good, y'all?
Dre Moore. How did you say the joke before?
Chill, bro. I was excited. I'm happy to be back here.
Oh, man. We want to shout out Waco, Texas. We see you in the downloads. We appreciate all the support coming out of Texas, man. That's just one of the areas, one of our hot spots.
Yeah, we gotta go there.
Yeah. You setting up the tour?
Okay, well, listen, I'm down. We gotta go to Houston, though.
No, I know why.
Chill,
That's
bro.
what, never mind.
Chill, bro.
We got a fast five for Dre today, man. Let's start with something real barbershop talk, like LeBron or Jordan.
In terms of what? My favorite or who better?
Who better?
Mike.
Mike better?
Yeah, Brown my favorite player, though. Mike better, though.
Why you say Mike better?
He a dog. He's killer instinct. Crazy. And it's hard to, like, he never lost on the stage, bro.
On the biggest stage.
On the biggest stage. Never lost.
All right.
He just different, bro.
I'll take that.
Just different.
This is unusual. I did 50 Cent versus Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne?
Yeah, Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne got a special place in my childhood.
That's a fact. Talking about childhood. Dragon Ball Z or Pokemon?
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like when they my favorite probably was like when Gohan grew up.
Okay.
That was like my favorite era and all that. He was dumb tough. Like middle teenage Gohan.
Yeah. Porsche or Maserati?
I don't. Porsche.
Porsche?
Yeah, Porsche.
I think I like the Maserati logo a lot. The emblem.
Yeah, the little devil fork looking thing.
Does that make I'm Illuminati or something? Another rap joint. We're gonna do Nicki Minaj or Lil Kim.
Nicki.
That's easy.
Yeah, for sure. For our era, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I know, all them other people probably gonna kill me for that, but Nicki.
Right,
Nicki, like when Nicki was Nicki before like all of this like stuff she on now and all the gimmicks, like you take all that away, like she
rap ability.
Amazing, phenomenal.
All right, man. This is More Than a Dad, man. How's dad life?
Dad life is cool. Gotta say dad life is cool. Then I gotta get into my BS. Yeah, I be with Ash all the time, bro. He is like trying. So like the other day we was on the phone and I was in the supermarket with him. And you can't take him nowhere. I don't think you could take any kids anywhere. Let me even start. It's not even isolated to him. I don't think you could take any kids anywhere without kids wanting something.
Right.
So he got this big thing about dinosaurs. He really liked dinosaurs. So we in the supermarket. I forget what I was even getting. I might have been getting some cereal for myself, to be honest.
Cereal for yourself is crazy.
Yeah, because I need cereal. Plus they eat all the cereal. But he seen like some dinosaur cereal, so he like, can we get the cereal? So I'm like, no. Like, no. Because like you don't even really need it. You just see it because you just want it because you see it.
Right.
So I'm just like, no, like you can't get it. So he just like I'm gonna give me a new dad. Cause like it'd be something so simple as like you can't get this cereal, like, so now I just need a new pop, like. So I'm like, man, all right, well, I need a new son then, like.
Oh man.
So like you on the phone just laughing because like we having this back and forth exchange over this box of cereal. He ended up getting the cereal anyway, y'all. But like I think I had said something to the effect like, man, because you know we more than a dad. I'm like, man, where you signed up to be like less than a dad? Because like these kids be getting on my nerves. So we just had that joke. So I just wanted to share that with y'all.
Man, definitely trying to be less than a dad sometimes.
Yeah, man, less than a dad, man. It be getting crazy.
Dad life for me is it's cool, man. Manny really grown up, you know, at 4 years old. He's so much of a different, you know, a good different and a bad different. He's so different. Like he like more mature. He got big vocabulary, bro. But recently, Manny don't have like he just learning understanding genders. Right? So like when we be like taking pictures, like Manny might pose and I'm like, you don't pose like that for the picture. Like that's not what boys do.
Right.
And I made the big mistake of doing that. So now he comes to me to verify, like, is this boy stuff? Is this what boys should be doing? And I hate myself for it. Like I hate myself for it because I sound like a jerk. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yo, boys don't pose like that. Like boys don't put their hands on their hips. Like I'm really doing that to a 4-year-old. I feel like a nut. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that was like a big thing to me because like she was like, look, you know, my wife was like, look what you started.
Right.
Look what you started. So now for like the last 2 weeks, everything is like, hey, Dad, is this a girl show or a boy show?
Like, trying to figure out what he could watch.
Yeah, he was eating cereal one day, and Mario walked in. He was like, "Yo, boys eat cereals. Moms don't eat cereals."
He's going crazy with it.
So I made a huge mistake of that. And you know, like Manny, like the enforcer of all rules in every environment he in.
Right.
So I could see my son growing up being like the tattletale or snitch because he's going to be like, yo, you shouldn't be doing it. Like, you know what I mean? So like,
you doing girl stuff.
You know what I mean? So like, I know for a fact, he be talking to Osa sometimes like, Os, you can't do this. This is boy stuff. Like, get off my Superman, get off my Spider-Man. This is boy stuff.
Yo, you done turned
So I feel terrible.
You're a tyrant. Yeah, that's crazy.
Let's get into what we came here to get into, man.
When good intentions go wrong.
Yeah, bro, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, man, he don't pose like that. I think he was like, because real early on, he was real big on like Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, and he don't differentiate that they boy mouse, girl mouse. He just like, he'll do what both of them do.
Right.
So my son can't have no little bent knee with his pose. I'm like, you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what you're supposed to do. Like, I kind of regret it because like he on that, but like I really was. You don't supposed to stand like that.
Yo, that is funny.
But we came here to get into some stuff. Yo, social media been going crazy with the parenting stuff lately, man. Like,
that's a fact.
I wanted to talk about with you this 50 Cent son thing when he was like $6,700 a month wasn't enough for child support.
First of all, his son like grown.
His son grown like 25, I think.
That's crazy, isn't that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, because like at 25, like how am I still paying child support for you?
Is it current? Is it still?
Oh, he was saying that happened from back in. I didn't really like super tap into it. So he was talking about
like, yeah, he was just saying like that wasn't enough money. Like my dad, this big rapper on TV person, and he only sending us $7,000 a month. Like that's like y'all supposed to be living the lifestyle I'm living.
I mean, that's what they say. They say the lifestyles are supposed to match. Him personally saying $6,700 a month isn't enough is crazy.
I think personally, like,
because you got to think like when you get like if you're getting $6,700 a month, like that would be a equivalent. That's over like $100,000 a year from a regular job. You got to think child support comes out. It's straight cash.
Right.
Like I don't know if people know that. You know, like I'm familiar because I pay child support, but you know, like the person receiving the child support doesn't have to report the child support as income because it's not taxable.
Right.
So I mean, it's already taxed. What happens is child support is an after tax deduction. So I pay the taxes on it. So I don't get a credit for it when I file my tax. Like, it doesn't lower my income when I file taxes, and it doesn't increase her income. It's not like alimony or some of those other things that come out pre-tax. Right. So then she would have to report it as income, and she would pay the taxes on it. But since I already pay the taxes on it, she doesn't have to report it as income. Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're getting 6,700 a month is equivalent to getting, like, if you worked a regular job, you had to get over $100K. Right. It's $80,000 cash. Right. You got to think, like, what you making, 160 a year? Because they taking half of it in taxes somewhere in there. So that is, for a child, is way more than enough money. That's ridiculous.
I think his complaint was like, yo, my dad this big, like he the hottest thing smoking, 25 million records sold on one album. He's this millionaire and we're only getting less than $7,000 a month. And I was just stuck, like, the average person, like, you gotta think about, say they were never married, because I don't know this far into the story. We was never married, and I don't know if you're supposed to have the same lifestyle I'm supposed to have, even if I'm worth 100 mil or not. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we were never married, we never was like a real household like that. Right. Like, I don't know, you're supposed to inherit that way. You feel me? You know what I mean? But, like, obviously, learning more about it, it just seemed like a big cry for help. A big, I would trade all the money in the world for him to come spend the day with me. Right. Like, it became, real social media out, like a cry for attention. And just to bring that to the forefront, I got sad from that. Now, it might be a little ignorant because there's people out here don't get $6,700 a month from their jobs.
That was why I made that correlation between, like, a regular, like, you would be, like, if you was making $160K, you would be expected, you're going to take care of your whole family with that. Yeah. We're talking about you just getting that
for the kid.
For the kid. That's just what you're getting for the kid. Right. You know how hard it is for people to earn a 6-figure income. Right. You're just blessed with it off the back.
He was saying that, like, living in New York, the cost of living was high. And,
I understand that.
And a lot of people was killing him in the comments because it's like, child support is like a equation, right? A formula. Like, if you get $6,700 for dad, there's supposed to be another $6,700 for mom.
That's a fact. Or however the splits is.
And it don't ever seem like he held his mom to the fire of, like, where was your $6,700 at?
But even still, if you got the $6,700, that's like you're living. Like, you got to think, she's not let's get back. Child support is for the kid. Right. So his living and everything should be provided. Right. So if you got $6,700 a month cash, like, you got to think of it like this. Like, we was running around out here. Like, when you had your first, like, I had my first job, I might have been, and I'm living at my parents' crib, I might have been making $120 a week after taxes. I'm bringing home $120 a week. $20 gonna get me transportation back and forth to work a week, and the other $100 is me. So now I got $400 a month cash. I'm living like the man. I'm buying all the sneaks I want. I'm getting all the games I want. I'm not even yearning for more money because I live at home with my folks. They still paying my phone bill. They still feeding me. They still putting a roof over my head. So all I'm really buying myself is clothes and sneakers, and games when I want to. If you got $6,700 worth of that, man, you go get. I'm about to go. Listen, you could go take that and get like a car note on like a Bentley. That's for like $2,000 and still have $4,000 left. And you mean? Because, like, it's for you, for the kid. If that $6,700 was funding you and your mom whole household, then take that up with them.
He also brought into the equation, like, the cost of living in New York and, like, the consequences of, like my dad is this big famous rapper actor, that I gotta live so far out the way that it's no cheap living, it's no reasonable living. So I guess that's a consequence of his success, is that, like, now that's not getting us a lot as much as you think it is. Like, everything.
Again, what work are you putting in to match that? Right. Like, I'm giving you, like, that's just a hell of a platform. Like, that's just a hell of a base. Like, that's just a hell of a starting point.
That's a fact.
Like, 67. If somebody put $6,700 in your pocket right now, it would change your life monthly. It would change your life.
Yeah.
Change. Like, the life you live now would be totally different. Totally. Like, where you live, what you drive, how you eat, totally change. It's a platform. Like, it's not designed to be like, yo, this is all your income, and I get it. Your pop is a millionaire, and maybe you want more from that relationship, but for you to say, maybe your approach is different. You shouldn't say like, yo, you only gave me 6,700, like you a noodle. Like, you should be like, yeah, you should spend time with me, or like the relationship should be this, or we should have been going on trips, or like you should have been coming to my sports, to my games, or you should have been picking me up from school. You can say that, but when you get on a platform and say, yo, you a noodle, you was giving me 6,700, like, yo, you sound crazy.
My whole thing is like, so now it's like, I'm 50 Cent's son. Do you sound like, yo, it's dangerous for me to have a regular job? Like, it's dangerous for my mom to go out. She 50 Cent baby mom. It's dangerous for her to go live somewhere and work a regular job to max the 6,700. Because that's what it kind of sounds like. It's like the 6,700 wasn't enough to go hibernate.
I mean, but you're trying to hibernate in New York. If you take the 6,700 and go
South Carolina,
right, then you're good, and then your mom could get a regular job and you can live there. I'm confused at this whole notion of like like how it's not enough money. Like, because it's just for this, it's just for the kid and the kid's needs. $6,700 for you is enough for you to live. It might not have been enough. Like, your mom couldn't have been out here buying Chanel every other week or something like that. But again, it's not designed for that.
it's not designed for her personally.
Yeah,
either.
it's not designed for that. And if y'all couldn't live there, I'm telling you right now, if you took the 6,700 and went down south, you'd be lit.
Right.
You could go anywhere, and then like y'all could get regular jobs or do regular things or whatever. But $6,700 a month, like I said, is a hell of a starting point.
Right.
For something. For you to just say like, man, that wasn't nothing is like crazy. Just because I got M's, I earned these M's. You ain't earned these M's? Now I got to give you these M's for that?
Was that the son that was in the Winkster video?
Bro, I have no clue. I don't know which one.
I'm about to say, you've been getting 6,700, at least 6,700 since then, since like 03. It's crazy.
6,700 for a long time. I ain't make no plays with that. That's what I'm saying, man. Listen, that be on you, cuz. Like we talked about, man. All I'm here is to provide my kids with a platform for you to go ahead and do great things. That's my job. If you can't take the ball and run with the ball, that's on you. You fumbled the baton.
You think he was fed like that wasn't enough and stuff from his mom? Like he was fed that? Like, you think that's an original thought?
I mean, it could be. It could be original thought. I can't put it on her. I don't know if I would say like, yo, she was bad mouthing him to the young boy. Maybe she was. But I mean, like, it could be just a thought of. It sounds ignorant, bro.
It sounds ignorant, but it also sounds like it could have been fed too. Like yeah, you see your dad all over TV, but he only send you $7,000 a month.
Yeah, it could be. I can see it. I just don't know enough to give her that case, but it could be. It's possible. You hear it. Look, just trust. It happens for sure.
Yeah, man. Also on social media, I seen something about like there was this couple, and they were upset about when a man do the laundry, wash the dishes, cook dinner, he gets praise like from his family. Like, yo, you should be so lucky your man do this.
Right.
And then the woman perspective was like, I do all these things all the time, and nobody's like, yo, you should be grateful that you have a wife that does this. It's just pretty much a double standard on house duties.
Right.
When a man do it versus when a woman do it. And I just wanted to know your take on it.
Absolutely. For sure. Because like as a mom, that's just like the expectation.
Right.
We just expect you to do it. Like, yo, you just expected to make home, raise kids. The pats on the back probably are a lot smaller. They could be far and few in, between, depending on like the nature of people's relationships. But because it's not the norm, because it's out of the norm for the man to be doing it, then it's seen as like this, bigger thing. When in reality, we both should be equal contributors. We don't have to be doing the same thing, but we should both be coming together and contributing for the same common goal. So if like this is what works, that I do this over here and you do that over there, then that's what works. But the norm is, for women to make, like, that's just kind of what was taught. like through society, like the women do these things and men do these things. So like if you get a man that goes out and works and he then comes home and take care of the kids, it's like, oh, you know, like he's amazing.
Yeah.
And for in reality, like, you know, we partners, so this is how it should be. We should be equal in that way.
So if a woman in a situation goes out and she makes 150K, do we be like, yo, you should be lucky to have her because she like overcompensating in a man providing?
I don't even think that's a conversation, and it's crazy, and
Like
it probably should be.
like do in a barbershop you be like, you should be lucky, you should stay with your wife. Your wife out earning you. Do we echo that?
No,
Like we don't ever be like, yo, your wife killing it. Like it'd be like, that's
they
just
don't
your wife.
Yeah, they don't say that, bro. They don't acknowledge that. You know what it is though, and then people will probably get offended by that. If you were to say to another man, "Yo, your wife out earning you," he gonna feel a way about that.
Right.
Like it's gonna be like, "Yo, what you on, bro?"
You know what's so
But
silly?
that's a thing. But that's also a thing because some things are you could be held back in a situation by, you know, like I feel like people go first, like what they call it, a power couple.
Yeah.
Like if you making 100 and your wife making 100 and there's 200 in the household, life is different.
Yeah.
It's very much different, and I don't think that portion of it is celebrated enough. You know, like a lot of that isn't. You're right. A lot of that isn't talked about.
Right.
And I don't know why that's not like.
Because it's gender roles and it's double standards. And like as a guy that is that, right? Like, you know, I'm the guy that earns great, but also I come home and cook, wash dishes, bathe the kids, read them books.
Right.
Like I'm one of them do it all type of guys, and that's because I want to be.
Right.
You know, and the funny thing is now I think about it out loud, I get a lot of that from my dad, but was my dad doing that when he was working? I don't know, because my dad was amazing to me because in my head he was just amazing, but he was retired.
Right.
So he didn't have to worry about quote unquote providing. The house was paid for, he had his pension and Social Security coming, and then mommy still worked because she didn't want just a single income household.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he kept trying to tell her like, you know, you ain't gotta work. And she like, well, we ain't gonna live off your checks.
Yeah. That's
Like, you know what I mean? But like, it's interesting to me just to think about out loud. Like, it's like, I do get a lot of like, oh, you such a good guy. Like, you such a, like, you know what I mean? I get a lot of that.
You just sparked my brain with that because I don't like my dad was kind of similar to your dad at the, you know, like he was retired and he was doing a lot of that stuff in the house, like cooking, not really cleaning so much. My mom did most of the cleaning, but my dad did laundry and cook, course wash dishes and all of that stuff. And like he was home when I would come home, so like, I mean, he would help me with whatever he could help me with as far as school. But when he was working, he wasn't home.
Right.
Like he wasn't home at all. Like when before my dad, because he ended up going out on disability, so he retired early. So he retired like 5 years early, something like that. Yeah, it was like 60, like 60. But when he was working before that, I never seen him.
Yeah.
I just knew he paid these bills in here.
Right.
But I never seen him. Like he would go to work before I would wake up, and by the time he used to work in Bristol, and he was the manager out there, so shifts was long. He'll leave before I would be up in the morning, and by the time he was coming back, I was about to get ready to go to bed, and that was my life for like the first 10 years of my life. Wow. And then like after that, like the next probably I moved out like 19, so I would say like the next 9 years, might as well say 10, he was home. So he was doing all the home stuff.
Right.
But I think that goes back more to speaking to me saying like if whatever works, however y'all come together and make it works. But you definitely don't get no praise for being the boy that do it. You get praise for being the guy that does it all, but as a woman, it's not the same, bro.
Yeah, they make everything like if a woman do it all, it's negative. It's like, yo, she don't need a man. You know what I mean? It's like real. It's like
it's a negative connotation. It's like she an alpha female and
she independent.
She independent. She don't need no help.
As a guy that's raising a daughter, I would rather raise them that way, and then you find a way later in life to make room for a mate. You know what I mean? Like, because the thing is, like, to live a life depending on people,
right,
and expecting them to be, and no, like that's not a good way to live. And you made a good point about like two income households. Like today, inflation, everybody want houses that don't touch each other, and we want these great things. You know, we dream bigger than our parents. Like our parents dreamed. They're like, you gotta think about it. Like they just fought for women that have rights to like work and stuff less than 60 years ago or something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe like 80 years ago. I don't know. But like something like that. Like it hasn't been long. It ain't been like 400 years.
Yeah.
Women been working and stuff. So like today, society, everybody dreams entrepreneurship. We want to own real estate. We want to buy houses with land, and we want to travel and see the world. You think you're doing that off of one income today?
Negative. Absolutely not.
Because none of us want to go live in the middle of Wyoming or something. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
Where cost of living could be like minuscule, right?
Right.
We don't want to. We want to live not that far from big city where the employers are. Get a little mixed bag. You know what I mean? It's hard to be like, I'm gonna live this whole life. We're gonna see the whole world. The kids gonna be in the best schools, best school districts, live in the best house, and we're gonna do that for one income?
Impossible. No way.
Not the masses. Now somebody might, really hit a come up and be okay with that, but not the common person.
Yeah.
Not the majority of us.
Right.
So like,
and even when we talk now, like before, like they always talk that six figures. Like that was a big thing growing up. Like, yo, you make six figures. Like,
yeah,
and now like when you make six figures, it's like this is trash.
it is true.
Can't even live like. You think that you're gonna get the six figures and you'll be able to live this amazing life and do these things is a facade.
That's a fact.
I don't know if it was back then, and maybe our parents was big on that then because six figures back then was probably equivalent of 200 or something like that. But today, man, six figures, like you would be making six figures living paycheck to paycheck.
That's a fact. You gotta think about it. Like I graduated college 2011. So like by the time it was like 13, 14, like I remember friends like Royale and them were looking to buy houses, and like houses were still like 125. You know what I mean? Row homes and stuff like that. But I was looking, when we eventually sold Daddy house, like I think Daddy probably bought his house sold his house for like 35,000, 40,000, and you mortgage that out 30 years and that joint like $300 a month.
Yeah,
like that, it's so far from that today.
Yeah, you talking about
you know what I mean
for something that you want.
Like you got to think about like the average house in the suburbs was like 250. Now row homes are 250. That same house in the suburbs is 450, 500,000.
Crazy.
Newly developed houses 700,000. You know what I mean? And we supposed to be like one income. Like imagine one income households is doing.
It's crazy because the new house they putting up in South Philly down there by the stadium. You ride past the sign, they got a billboard up advertising like, it's starting in the upper 600s. Like riding past something and you see the sign say starting in the upper 600s, you like, what? All right.
And then you think
keep
about
on riding.
You think about on my block, like, not to like put us in no box, but like you could probably count on one hand how many people were making over $50,000 on the block that I grew up on.
Right.
So to be like 10 blocks away into the west or east, a $600,000 house just went up.
Yeah, never can afford that.
That's a fact. I wanted to ask you, let's get into this LeBron joint. So LeBron recently took his son Bronny on his first college visit. Was it his first college visit? It was the first official college visit
Ohio State.
to Ohio State. And he had like a real sentimental post about like how it made him emotional. He didn't have that experience. It was real urgent for him to start living. So he went from high school to the league, and he was able to make money for his talents. And he didn't get a chance to like be a kid and go to college. Right. So I wanted to ask you, like, is there anything that you looking forward to your kids experiencing that you didn't get a chance to experience?
That's probably it. The same thing.
The same thing?
Mm-hmm. Just the college experience. Like, I feel like, I tell you all the time, like, going to college, like, extends your childhood.
Yep.
In my mind. Like, like, you still, that's like getting an extra 4 years of, like, you're learning responsibility, but the responsibilities are limited. Like, you are, you really learning how to live on your own a little bit, make a little bit of meals here and there. Like, you really picking up life skills that's needed, but your childhood is extended because like you're not like a full-fledged member of the workforce that's out here doing it every day.
Right.
And to me, like, I just look at it like, like that's a cool thing. Like, I could think back now, like, dang, like if I got the opportunity, like it was able to go away for school, that's even better than like people who just commute home. Like my nephew is at Temple right now. And he commutes, and we were just having a conversation the other day about him wanting to stay on campus and, get a little apartment. But even in Temple, like that's in the city. Like you was able to actually be away from here, a couple hours away where it's like I'm really on my own.
Right.
Kinda. And just the experience of that, like, like like I'm in a dorm and I'm on my own. Like I just think that that's like cool. Like it just seems like something that's cool.
Right.
So like I definitely would be looking forward to like my kids being able to experience that. Like that's probably like if I don't got any regret, like I probably should have like at least went to school just for the experience. Like I got the college party experience, like, but to actually like be away at school. Like some people go like they live here, they go to USC. I know a person that went to USC. Like, can you imagine like you go to Cali to go to school?
Right.
You go to University of Miami Beach, right here, but I'm in school, got a little job.
Right. I think I don't really have much because unfortunately, well, fortunately,
You did a lot.
I did a lot of things. I got married, I had kids, I went to college, again, worked in college. You know what I mean? And I don't have them regrets. And I think my parents I always try to acknowledge that my parents did a good job with me. Whatever balance worked for them, I turned out to be pretty well rounded. But what I look forward to with my kids that I don't think my mom and them could do was like putting us in activities that would benefit us later in life.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So when we talk about, finding a STEM program for Manny, and Manny's in like acting classes, and like I look forward to going to his performances.
Right.
You got to think, I didn't play football till I was a junior, so it wasn't like even as a football player, I didn't have Pop Warner, Little League.
Right.
All that stuff came much later. So I look forward to like, what T. Bart say, share competitions with his daughter. So I look forward to them doing activities because I know I was either too big or we didn't have the means to, and we just made different choices. Like she could have put me in football earlier, but then we maybe didn't go to Disney World 10 times.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I wouldn't trade them memories, but I think like I look forward to like man, like the other day, Manny, he moved up in his swim class.
Right.
And I'm always in the lobby like, yeah, man, yeah, all of us, we're raising fish. You know what I mean? We're raising fish because all our kids are there trying to know how to swim.
Right.
And he moved up in class, and we made it such a big thing in the house that he moved up and got a certificate. Now he's in a swimmer 2 class, and like I look forward to that. You know what I mean? Because I don't think I really had that. I had swim lessons that was probably over in 6 weeks, and we could swim. Manny been going to swimming for over a year. He just moved up, whole different vibe.
Right, that's a fact.
I just want to ask you that. I thought that was real unique. How emotional LeBron was about
absolutely
seeing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like it's proud moments. It's just, and that right there is the basis of what we doing this whole thing for. Like you want to be able to provide your kids with things you didn't have, and that's what we do it for. At the end of the day, to sit back and look and say like. Because you know what it is? It's the inner child in you.
Right.
It's the inner child in you. Like, man, I wanted all of those things as a kid. I wanted all them Jordans, or I wanted all them video games, or I wanted the new PlayStation, the newest one when it came out, or I wanted to go do that. And it's like you kind of relive that through watching your kids do it and watching them enjoy it and stuff like that. Right. So, and that's what we put the work in for.
No, I agree, man. So, man, this has been a great one right here, man. We want to thank y'all for tuning in to More Than a Dad. The support has been unbelievable. We appreciate all the comments and the feedback we get.
That's a fact.
Yeah, man. Think about that when you at home. Like, what is something that your kids might experience that you didn't get a chance to experience that, like you'll have a super proud moment if they get to do it because you didn't.
Right.
I think that's heavy.
That's a fact.
All right, man. Until next time.
We out.
Join the More Than a Dad family by following us on Instagram, subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to join our Facebook group for daily questions, motivation, dad jokes, and new dad tips. If you enjoy our podcast, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Be sure to like, comment, and share our content with other parents. Last but not least, make sure you check out our new merch. The link is in the bio of our Instagram as well as the description of this YouTube video. We are truly grateful, and thanks for supporting More Than a Dad.
More than a dad. More than a dad.